Hey folks, welcome back. In this video, we're going to take a look at pressure curves. It's not really a drawing video, but this is going to make a huge difference in terms of your line quality and in terms of the pressure you're able to get out of your tablet. Now, I've got a Cintiq 27QHD tablet monitor here, and uh, if you have a different type of tablet or a different model tablet, chances are it came with a software driver that allows you to use that tablet with your computer. Uh, in the Wacom Cintiq 27QHD tablet drivers, there's a component here called tip feel. If I click on that, this is the pressure curve that I've set up for my approach when I'm drawing. So let's interpret and kind of figure out what's going on here. So initially, when you look at the pressure curve that you would get by default, it is normally linear. It is a diagonal line. What I've done is I've adjusted these individual markers here, these little points, to affect the amount of pressure that I would like to have the stylus deliver when I'm making my marks. Now, your pressure settings are going to be different than mine. I tend to draw with a less of a firm hand. I'm not bearing down too hard on the stylus. So this is the reason why I've set the pressure settings to where it takes a little bit more time for the pressure to ramp up. And this gives me this ability to have this nice thin to thick line quality. You can see that as I start to really press down harder, that the amount of pressure goes up. I can always control that, but I can't really move this particular point down. But what I can do is I can adjust the angle of that pressure to where it's maybe not as steep. You're going to have to play around with your pressure curve settings to determine what makes the most sense for you. You'll notice here too that I don't have the tablet pen starting off right with zero output. I want to be able to actually begin to press a little bit to where ink starts to come out. When I say ink, I'm talking about whatever the brush is actually making. So you can test it out here. The best way to test it out, in my opinion, is actually to try it on a blank canvas. And the other factor that has a huge influence on your pressure settings are the brush size. If I make my brush size ridiculously small, like super duper small, it really doesn't matter how hard I press on the stylus, the line weight is not going to change. So in order to really see this, you have to make your brush somewhat large. In this case, I've got my brush that's 25 pixels, and you can see that my pressure settings are now showing a little bit more variability. When I ink, I will have my hand on the keyboard and I will adjust the size of the brush as I work. So for lines that are really close to the viewer, I'll make them somewhat big. For lines that are a little bit further away, I'll make that brush small. And that's another way that you can control the output. It takes a little bit of getting used to, but I think it's going to pay off in the long run. So, if you're struggling with trying to get good line weight, or if your lines are just uniform, you're not able to get any kind of pressure settings out of it, and you have a tablet monitor or a tablet that you're working with, check the tablet driver settings. Make sure that your pressure curve is set up to where it works for you. Now, it's going to take a little bit of trial and error to get it just right. Try it. If you don't like it, change it and experiment with different pressure curve settings, and I'm sure you're going to find the right one. So, short and sweet today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.